boulder looks terrifying. I just had no fucking clue what was going on. I'm too scared. Wait, seriously? I feel this pressure to like splash or something. I haven't even really warmed up. Bail off of E3.
I was always told growing up that patience is a virtue. But I don't know if I was ever told that vulnerability is a virtue. I think it's way harder to be vulnerable than fucking patient. God damn, I don't have as many issues with patience as I often think. But being vulnerable, I don't care who you are. It always feels hard. As a kid, the adults in my life loved practicing a thing that I've now dubbed pseudo vulnerability. You can kind of tell when someone's truly being vulnerable, no?
It's gotta be this tire that's spinning, huh?
It's uncomfortable for both people, even for close friends or couples. It's just awkward at times. So what do you do when someone tells you they're being vulnerable and you realize this is just a past vulnerability? It's nothing to do with the present. Well, that shit pisses me off. And that shit pissed me off more when I was a teenager. Honestly, I don't really know where this episode starts and ends.
Man.
I don't really know where my struggle with vulnerability starts and ends.
Well, I think I'm gonna do this as a warm-up. It's like V3 or something. Kind of a highball. Kind of looks slopey at the lip. I don't know, that last move looks kind of gnarly to the lip, so we'll see. Okay, well, definitely not the best angles of this boulder because of the trees, but whew, this boulder looks terrifying. Okay. Scary.
I don't relish being vulnerable. I don't think anyone relishes being vulnerable.
Oh, wow. Potentially more scary than you'd think. Because the first move seems quite hard. Unless it's like a sit or something. I kind of doubt you sit start it. I mean, who does sit start highballs?
But I think you'll relish it less, if that even makes sense, when you have the sentiment that you were forced to be vulnerable in environments that weren't fair.
It's a traverse.
And I'm sure that's happened to all of us. Why is it that I feel vulnerability doesn't have a beginning or end place for me? Realistically, the answer is probably because I'm dancing circles around what's actually getting at me. What actually bothers me about vulnerability.
Oh, I'm too scared. I'm too scared. Crazy. Oh, it's just like one move, though. Oh, yeah. I don't know if you could tell, I was like crimping that hold because I got so scared.
I always felt like there were two factors that contributed to my strange
Good Lord.
relationship with vulnerability. The first is probably the environment I grew up in. The second, and maybe the more dominant factor, is my personality.
That's a cool looking boulder. I think I'll do that tomorrow. Pretty cool hike. Probably about 15 minutes in or something. Oh, okay. So I have the EOSR 7200, two DTAP batteries, an extra Canon battery. Hiked that pad, and I guess those 3 or 2.5 or whatever with the backpack. And I had to just carry this camera that I'm holding by my hand. There's the, that's the boulder. I mean, honestly, probably not as sick as I was thinking it's gonna be. How's this? Am I gonna die? Feels stable enough. Wait. Seriously? Not as rad as you'd think.
I grew up in a conservative Christian household, as many people in the U.S. did. However, I was in the Dominican Republic as a missionary kid. And you can imagine when you visit the U.S., these fucking Christians need you to be vulnerable.
Is the lip encounter hard? Yeah. That would be a crux lip encounter. I feel this pressure to like flash or something. I haven't even really warmed up. Bailed off of E3.
Because their boring ass Sunday going lives are just waiting for someone to give them a spark. And if you think I'm being harsh, dog, go to fucking church 3 times a week for the most of your life. You'll see how bored many of these Christians are. So when we came back to the U.S. once a year, being vulnerable was a fucking requirement. You had to go up there and give these people some sort of news they'd never heard in their lives. We conquered the fucking devil because we prayed and this and that, and we let thousands of people into our personal spiritual lives. Because I can't say it enough. These Sunday goers, they're not practicing this kind of vulnerability in their own lives. And if you're not living it in your own life, you're going to have to live vicariously through someone else. And if that means you're making a teenager do it, that's fucked up, man. I need to be clear here. I'm not talking about my parents. You know, I would get singled out in youth group.
I just had no fucking clue what was going on.
Because the claim was I was putting surfing above God.
I still have no clue what the fuck is going on. So I don't know exactly what to do there. Wow. How do you get to that hold?
I was just obsessed with surfing. And so I was an easy target. The pastor would say, when I was a teenager, I struggled with pornography. Now Nick, as a teenager, struggles with surfing. Do you see how fucked up that is? because actual vulnerability isn't calling on the past, but vulnerability for real requires you to expose something of your current self, something that's exposing you right now. If you are pointing out what's exposing something right now about someone, but not willing to expose anything right now about yourself, that's not fair. It's easy to talk about the sins that aren't eating at you, right? But the ones that are consuming your soul, ain't nobody gonna share that.
Wow, it's fucking really hard. Wow.
What struck me on the day that I was filming this is that I get the same butterflies in my stomach or whatever it is, nervousness, thinking of showing the world me trying hard rock climbing as I did thinking about sharing my true feelings with another Christian as a teenager. And that shows me there's scars there still. The second thing that makes me feel like I have a strange relationship with being vulnerable is my personality. I, by nature, am a little bit more of an extreme person. I like to push boundaries, and I like being honest in situations that most people aren't comfortable with. But the irony of that is when you are that type of personality, people begin to expect you to be vulnerable. And they expect you to be more vulnerable than they themselves would ever consider being.
Ow. I'm confused. Okay. We got there though. Do I... I don't know if anyone's gonna ever see that video. That was the hardest I've ever tried on B7, I think. Oh God. Can't imagine being able to do the 10. Oh shit.
So think back to what this would mean as a teenager. If you're naturally vulnerable and people are pushing for more vulnerability, but you can see yourself that they just won't do this themselves, it creates a bit of bitterness.
Wait. Yeah, right.
So what happens subconsciously to a person like that? You begin to protect yourself. You subconsciously learn that vulnerability is not the best choice.
Don't tell me that's how it goes. I don't think I had this thing padded right.
But if there's anything that I still carry with me from the Bible, it's that learning to be yourself is truly valuable. So maybe I don't like being vulnerable, but it's naturally me.
That makes me want to pad that. Oh, it's the hold I'm slipping off of.
I'm not here to talk shit on those people in my past. I'm not here to talk shit on you. I'm not here to talk shit on myself. This is a diary entry.
No, I just gotta hope that I can just do the V7 with a blubber under me. I mean, I feel like falling on this won't be that crazy bad.
I'm just simply painting a picture of why I think my relationship with vulnerability is complicated, potentially even convoluted with details that I haven't organized yet.
I don't really have high hopes. I'm feeling quite tired, honestly. But, whew. I can't do it. Too tired. Too tired. I have to come back. Oh, that kind of sucks. It's on, baby. God, there's the vehicle. Oh, fuck. Oh, fucking hell yeah.